And plebs, this is Vlad Baranovskis deck profile here. It is from Galway Regionals in Ireland. He came 6th with this DDD list here. I would say that this is perhaps more standard list than what I've had previously on my channel. It's basically just DDD with like more hand traps rather than like more combo cards. Opting to not main any like traps like the D barriers or strikes or anything like that. Hand traps are a very good alternative because they let you play better going first and second. Just the idea that, you know, traps are obviously much better if you get to go first every time, but you know that we don't live in a perfect world, so we can't guarantee we'll go first every time. It just means that it's kind of a balance there, because if you do even just any sort of like half decent combo, you know, because you haven't opened that well because you've opened like 2 hand traps, if you can make like fucking just like Crystal Wing Siegfried, which is like a 3-4 card combo, you know, that's a 3 card combo, I'm sure, as well, and you just finish with like that and like 2 hand traps, that enough is like could just blow out your opponent. Now his choice of hand traps were quite interesting. He played the Ghost Ogre, 1 DD Crow, and 2 Maxi, so 4 altogether. Ghost Ogre and DD is sort of kind of like middle ground between the mirror match and just kind of like everything else. I mean, DD Crow has its uses against, for example, ABC, can have its uses sometimes against like Blue Eyes if that comes up. But mostly for the mirror, obviously. Ghost Ogre as well, very good all-round card. Very good against metal foes, very good against DDD. Yeah, I mean, everything else looks pretty interesting, pretty standard. I would suggest for a sort of like kind of DDD list, we've got Soul Charge in the main. That's kind of like hit or miss, because sometimes Soul Charge can be like the difference between opening like okay and opening broken. But it can also just be really dead because, well, the fact that your graveyard gets banished a lot from your Necro Slime, and you're banishing your slimes, and your like Lamia's getting banished, it's kind of sometimes a little bit hard to trigger your DDs. I'd like to test it more. I'd like to just do more test hands where I open Soul Charge and see like how it extends. In general, it's very good, but of course you can imagine it's probably better going second, I would think. I haven't actually really thought about it too much in this list, and it's quite interesting because I haven't really seen too many people play Soul Charge. But yeah, the main deck, I think 2 Orthos is probably not correct, honestly. I think that 1 is good because it's a searchable out to back row. Other than that, you know, it doesn't do anything else. It's really like, it's just there as like an MST, which is good when you need it, but I just don't understand really why you would play more than 1. 2 Thomas here. Again, I feel like it may be a little bit better to just max out on the combo pieces. The extra deck is very synchro heavy, only 2 Genghis. It's an interesting choice with Genghis. A lot of people would play it at 3 because it is obviously so important, but the 3rd Genghis really comes up most in like very niche turn 2 plays, and going second, and just if there's any disruption at all, the 3rd one can come up. So it's kind of like Mithrilium and Metal Foes, you know. It doesn't come up as much as you'd think, but when it does come up, it can be really serious. So I think, to stay on the safe side, I probably would have played 3 Genghis, and then we have Dark for the synchros and Beowulf for the overlays. A whole bunch of synchros. He's playing Zolkin, which I think is pretty interesting. You know, I can't really think of what exactly it would do. I mean, you can bring out like the Moonlight Dragon and the Crystal Wing without having to like use your Lamias for it, which is cool, but I've never actually seen it played, so that's quite an interesting card. I'd love to see some combos with it. I'd love to see how it like kind of gets used, and just kind of like more generic, like really good rank level 8s like Omega. There's a Trishula, of course. This deck can make 9s fairly okay. Coral Dragon's really good. I think this is made with like Copernicus and like a 1, and your Orthos as well, since that is level 4. The overlays, of course, Kali Yuga 38. Like Kali Yuga is really good against like metal foes and back row decks. Side deck, the Raidens, most likely for just going second against the mirror. Potentially ABC. It's an allure target, so that's why you play the dart one. So if you don't need it, well, you can lure it away. And of course, more hand traps for the mirror. Raigeki, just there as a generic board wipe against things like Dark Claw. Dark Claw is very scary to play against with this deck, and it's about 3. Well, he's got quite a lot of cards. Like, you have all your hand traps to stop them from going off, and you have the kaiju. So it's it seems quite plausible to beat heroes with this deck. And then system dens and 4 MSTs, twisters, etc. And then 1 dark contract with errors. This is the royal decree, I believe, of the archetype. It's a searchable decree, so that's really cool. And 2 anti-spell for pendulum. So that's my take on it. His tournament report is very quite lengthy, but I'll just to summarize like a little bit about his points. So the night before the event, I decided I wanted to play something different. Ended up with DD. Problem was I had to learn various combos. Ended up not sleeping and building my deck and learning it pretty much last minute. Thankfully, I got 30 minutes of rest before I got out of bed and got a shower and made a cup of coffee. Andy and others came up to my house around 9. We started our long car journey to Galway. Middle of the journey, Andy misses an exit, so it had looked like we would be too late. But thankfully, it all worked out as the tournament didn't start until 1. As soon as we got to the venue, jumped out the car and went out to get cards we still needed and write out deck lists. I ended up not getting all the cards I needed, so I ended up playing a slightly suboptimal extra, but it didn't really matter in the end. I finished X1 in 5 rounds. So round 1, he lost the artifact Demise, and I'll put the whole tournament report in the description so you can have a read at it. Round 2 beat Paleo Frog 2, and then 2 wand Metal Foes, and then 2 with ABC, and then 2 with Metal Foes. So yeah, check out the description for the paste bin link, and you can read the full tournament report there. But yeah, other than that, this has been your deck profile, and I would try to do these a bit more in depth, because I know a lot of people complain, oh, all you do is show a screenshot of the deck profile, and it's like, it's ABC, what do you want me to say? Because this is a new deck, obviously we should probably talk about it a little more. So this has been your 6th place DD profile. Let me know what you guys think down below, and I'll see you next time.